Look at your hand. Right now. Lift it up. Look at the fingerprints. Look at the light hitting your skin. It looks real, doesn't it? It feels solid. It feels warm. You can touch the table in front of you. You can smell the air. Your brain tells you, without a shadow of a doubt, that this is reality. But imagine for a second. Imagine a character inside a video game. Let's say a sim. Or a character in Grand Theft Auto. If that character had consciousness, if he could think, would he know he is in a game? No. To him, the digital road feels hard. The digital sun feels hot. His code tells him that his world is physical. He has no way of knowing that he is just a series of ones and zeros running on a server somewhere else. Now, ask yourself the scary question. How do you know that you aren't him? How do you know that reality is actually real? What if everything you see, every star, every atom, every memory, is just code? What if the year is not 2025? What if it is the year 5000, and you are just a history simulation being played by a teenager in the future? This sounds like science fiction. It sounds like The Matrix. But here is the terrifying part. This is now a serious scientific hypothesis. Physicists, cosmologists, tech billionaires, they are starting to find clues hidden in the laws of physics, clues that suggest our universe is fake. Welcome to Mind Odyssey. Today, we are going to question existence itself. We will explore the simulation hypothesis. We will look at the math, the quantum physics, and the glitches. We are going to find out if you are a player or if you are just an NPC. Let's start with the logic. In 2003, a philosopher from Oxford University named Nick Bostrom wrote a paper. It changed everything. He proposed a simple mathematical argument. It is called the simulation trilemma. It goes like this. Option 1. Civilizations never reach the level of technology needed to run realistic simulations. Maybe they destroy themselves with nuclear war, or climate change, or AI. Before they get powerful enough, they go extinct. Option 2. Civilizations do reach that level of technology. They become gods. But they simply aren't interested in running simulations. Maybe they are too moral. Maybe they have better things to do than simulate their ancestors. But then, there is option 3. If civilizations don't go extinct, and if they do want to run simulations, then they would probably run millions of them. Think about it. If we had a computer powerful enough, we wouldn't just run one simulation of history. We would run millions. We would simulate World War II, the Roman Empire, the future. We would have billions of simulated people, and only one real population. So, do the math. If there are billions of simulated universes, and only one base reality, what are the odds that you are in the real one? The odds are 1 in billions. Statistically speaking, it is almost impossible that you are real. Elon Musk famously said, "There is a 1 in billions chance that this is base reality." This is the logic, but logic is not proof. For proof, we need to look at the physics. We need to look at the pixels of our universe. Look at a photo on your computer screen. From a distance, it looks smooth. It looks continuous. But if you zoom in deeper, deeper. Eventually, the smoothness breaks down. You see squares, you see pixels, because a computer cannot create infinite detail. It has a limit. Now, look at our universe. We used to think space was smooth, continuous, infinite, but quantum physics tells us something else. If you zoom in far enough, past the atom, past the electron, you hit a limit. It is called the Planck length. The Planck length is the smallest possible unit of measurement in the universe. You cannot get smaller than this. It is the pixel of our reality. Space is not smooth. Space is a grid. Why would the universe have a minimum size? Unless it has a resolution limit, just like a video game. If reality was truly real, it should be infinitely divisible. But it's not. It stops. It feels like we are living in a 4K resolution universe. It is very high quality, but it is still pixelated. And then there is the speed limit, the speed of light, 299,192,458 meters per second. Nothing can travel faster than this. Why? Why is there a limit? If you are in a rocket ship, why can't you just push the gas pedal harder? Why does the universe stop you? In a computer simulation, every system has a processing speed. Information cannot travel instantly across the motherboard. There is a latency. There is a lag. Maybe the speed of light isn't a physical law. Maybe it is a rendering limit. Maybe that is the maximum speed the server can process information. If the processor gets overloaded, the game crashes. So the programmers set a hard limit. Nothing goes faster than C. It keeps the simulation stable. It prevents the game from breaking. Albert Einstein discovered this limit. But maybe he didn't discover a law of nature. Maybe he just discovered the clock speed of the CPU. If you play modern video games, you know about optimization. The computer does not render the entire world at once. That would require too much RAM. Instead, it only renders what you are looking at. If you look at a building, the computer draws the building. If you turn around, the building disappears to save memory. This is called rendering on demand. Now, let's look at the strangest experiment in physics, the double-slit experiment. Scientists fired electrons at a wall with two slits. When they watched the electrons behaved like particles, like solid matter. But when they looked away, when no one was observing, the electrons behaved like waves, like energy. Think about how insane that is. The matter physically changed its behavior just because it was being watched. Why? The simulation theory has an answer. The computer is optimizing resources. When you look at something, the simulation renders it as solid reality. When you look away, it turns it back into simplified code to save processing power. Matter only exists when an observer is present. This sounds exactly like a video game engine. Reality is only real when you are looking at it. There is another clue. It is called the fine-tuning problem. Our universe operates on a set of specific numbers, constants. The strength of gravity, the mass of an electron, the speed of light. These numbers are incredibly precise. If gravity was just a tiny bit stronger, the universe would have collapsed instantly after the Big Bang. If it was a tiny bit weaker, stars would never have formed. If the electromagnetic force was slightly different, atoms wouldn't hold together. Life would be impossible. It feels suspicious. It feels like the universe was designed perfectly for life. Like someone sat at a control panel and adjusted the sliders until they got the perfect settings. Scientists call this the Goldilocks zone, but in computer science, we call it hard coding. If you were programming a universe, you would set the variables perfectly to make sure the simulation runs. Is it a coincidence that our universe is perfect, or is it design? If this is a simulation, it is a very good one. But no software is perfect. Every code has bugs. Every program has glitches. Do we see glitches in our world? Some people think so. Have you heard of the Mandela effect? It is when millions of people share a specific detailed memory of something that never happened. Millions of people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, but he didn't. He died in 2013. People remember the Monopoly man having a monocle. He doesn't. People remember Pikachu having a black tip on his tail. He doesn't. Psychologists say this is just false memory, but simulation theorists say it might be an update. Maybe the creators changed the code, they patched the timeline, but they forgot to wipe our cache files. So we remember the old version. We remember the previous build of the game. And what about deja vu? As we discussed in our last video, is it a brain error? Or is it the simulation reloading a scene? A hiccup in the hard drive? If we are in a simulation, the biggest question is, why? Who built it? And what is the point? There are two main possibilities. Possibility 1. It is an ancestor simulation. Our descendants, humans from the year 10,000, are trying to understand their history. They want to know how we destroyed the planet, or how we survived AI. So they are running a simulation of the 21st century to learn from our mistakes. We are just history lessons. Possibility 2. It is entertainment. Look at us. We play The Sims, we play Call of Duty, we love drama, we love conflict. Maybe our reality is the ultimate reality TV show. Maybe the user, the player, is playing you. Maybe that's why life is so hard. Because a game without challenges is boring. If your life feels difficult right now, maybe it's just because the player turned up the difficulty setting. So, is reality real? The math says probably not. The physics suggests it is pixelated. The speed of light suggests a processing limit. It is terrifying. It makes you feel small. It makes you feel fake. But here is the final thought. The optimistic nihilism. Does it matter? If you kiss someone you love, does it matter if that feeling is biological or digital? It feels real to you. The love feels real, the pain feels real, the joy feels real. Even if this is a simulation, your experience of it is the only thing that counts. So play the game, explore the map, level up your character, and try to make the story a good one. Because you never know who is watching. This is Mind Odyssey. Do you think you are real? Or are you just code? Let me know in the comments, and press subscribe to stay in the simulation for one more week.